Hey friends, a lot of you have been asking us which is better, Control4 or Savant. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I think. All right, honestly, I've been stalling to make this video. We did write a blog about this a few months back, but I think it's actually kind of a hard question to ask. Years ago when we got started and we were trying to sign up with Savant and Control4 to be dealers, we couldn't come on with both systems at the same time. And we did a lot of research on which one we should pick up first. And we read an article from a dealer, I believe it was in Denver, and they said choosing between Control4 and Savant is a little bit like choosing between two of your children. And that pretty much sums it up. I really like both Control4 and Savant, and I like them for different reasons. But when a client comes to us and asks us about their home and their application, there's 4 things we look at. I'll walk you through each of those and then share a couple of bonus tips at the end. So number 1 is third-party integration. Right now, Control4 is leaps and bounds ahead of Savant in third-party integration. A few years back, both companies came to a point. Savant decided they wanted to put all their resources into a sexier, better-looking app with a better user experience. Control4 decided they wanted to put their resources into integrating with third-party solutions like Nest and MyQ and Sonos, and it's been very effective for both solutions for different reasons. If you're a client that really wants a product that can integrate with the popular third-party products on the market, be it Nest or Sonos or MyQ, Control4 continues to be more aggressive than Savant in this area. Now, that's not to say that Savant doesn't integrate with third-party solutions. They do. I will say that with Savant, they're a little slower to integrate, but usually once the integration is there, it's rock solid, and we seem to have a few less headaches with the integration than some of the third-party drivers we purchase or license for Control4 when we're integrating with third-party products. Number 2 is the application, and this sounds really simple, but it's critical. We have production home builders that come to us, and they're already offering a number of DIY products like a video doorbell and a Nest thermostat, or maybe some Lutron Caseta lighting, and they want to know which platform is best for them. Hands down, Control4. Because of the third-party integration, they can keep offering those DIY products that they already have in the home, and for $500 they can put a Control4 system on top of it all and give their clients a phenomenal solution. When we move into the custom side of production, we see it's a little bit more split. We see a lot of applications for both systems, and we find it's really personal builder to builder and client to client. If you're retrofitting your home, and even if you've never pulled any wire in your home before, both Control4 and Savant will work. I do have a preference for Control4 for wireless applications. I think there's a few more options with Control4 and wireless applications to extend the reach of the smart home throughout the home, but you can use both Control4 and Savant in wireless applications. If you're a home audio video person, I tend to encourage you to go with Savant. I think that Savant's app is sexier. I think the user experience is superior with both audio and video. Control4 actually came out and met with us and asked us why. It was a very candid conversation. I really like Control4, but Savant utilizes a heads-up display. It's like using the Apple remote. When I'm controlling my TV or the content on my TV or my projector, I can keep my head up looking at the screen, and I just swipe on the phone with my thumb and double tap when I'm ready to select content. Control4, on the other hand, has a digital picture of a remote that's sitting on the app, and you've got to look down and find the little buttons to press play, stop, select, guide. It works, it's reliable. I just think it's a clunky user experience. So if I'm buying my system predominantly for video and audio, I prefer Savant. Now on the other side of the coin, if you're excited about lighting control, climate control, security integration, and if you really want to geek out the automation, the integration portion of your system, I think Control4 is superior. Now again, Savant can do the integration and there's a lot of horsepower. I just think it's easier, quicker, faster for both the dealer and the client to deploy Control4 if that's what you're most excited about. For businesses, I think it's a wash. It's all over the board. There was a day when I would have told you that Savant was superior for restaurants and conference rooms, but if you've ever been to Top Golf, which is a huge party scene, the entire thing's run by Control4 and it's rocking, and Control4 manages it just fine. I really think in a business application, you've got to consider the whole of the parts and figure out which system fits best for that application. Number 3, user experience. I prefer Savant. We hit on this a little bit already. I think it's a more fluid experience. I enjoy the user experience. That means I'm going to use my app more often. What I find with Control4 is that it's easier to use initially, especially for people who are afraid of tech. When you hand somebody a Control4 system for the first time, it's very easy to tell what you're supposed to do. It's very icon driven. They see an icon for TV, they hit the TV icon. The next icons that pop up are Blu-rays, satellite, Apple TV. It's really simple to navigate. What I don't love about Control4's user experience is that I feel like I'm drilling down. And so I drill down into folders and then I hop back out to the main navigation menu. That's my personal opinion, not everybody's. Savant's I feel like is a little bit more fluid. With their upgrade a couple of years ago when they moved from True Control to Savant Pro, I feel like they slipped into that dial drill down approach. It's improved a lot over the last few iterations and it is a much more fluid experience. And what we find with Savant is that people are a little bit intimidated by it when they first use it, but they find out really fast that it's actually very easy to use and they tend to prefer the user experience. Both systems do have universal remotes. Control4's remote's about half the price of Savant's remote. I think Control4's remote's a phenomenal remote. I do think Savant's remote's a better remote. It does have a touchscreen interface and some basic voice voice control, although I think it's a little bit redundant with Alexa integration, but it is there for people who want to geek out with voice control. Number 4 is budget, and this is a big deal for a lot of clients, understandably. Almost across the board, when we do estimates for Control4 and Savant for the same client, Control4's estimate is almost always less expensive. Now, Savant's working really hard to combat this. They've introduced some additional tiers in their system for those smaller scale projects with less rooms of audio and less rooms of video. That has brought the price down with Savant, but I still find across the board that Savant tends to be the more expensive solution. So those are our 4 things we look at. When a client comes and meets with us and wants to know which is better, Control4 or Savant, we look at the application, the use case scenario, the budget, what their hot buttons are, if they want lighting and climate control, or if they want audio video, and we try and match the system that's best for their lifestyle. Now, a couple of bonus tips. Contrary to popular belief, they're both DIY friendly, at least more than you might expect. Both requires dealer on some level, Savant more so than Control4, but much more so than in years past when you have a Control4 or Savant system. There's a lot more available to you, the client, to create and customize scenes. Control4 actually has a client version of the software. Dealers have to load new devices into the software, so if you buy a light switch, we add the light switch into the software, but once it's loaded into the software, you can have all the fun you want programming that system. Savant's a little bit more locked down. It's all through the app. You can't touch the programming, but they've really opened up a lot of control for you to set schedules and timers on your lighting and your climate control and your security system. Very powerful stuff. Neither of them are as DIY as, say, the Nest thermostat, but if you're hearing people out there telling you they're not DIY friendly, don't listen. We're doing a lot more DIY with Control4 and Savant than we ever have in the past. Second bonus tip, both systems are very reliable. Contrary to what you might have heard, if the system's well designed and well executed, both systems will work reliably. Now, occasionally you're going to have a piece of hardware that goes bad or needs to be warrantied. Something might fall off the network, need to be placed back on the network, but both systems will work reliably for you if they're designed and installed correctly, which means you can stop worrying about whether or not your system's going to work and focus on just enjoying the experience. And lastly, the only thing here that really matters is what you want to do with your system. We'll have people from both companies come to us and ask us why one client got Savant, one client got Control4, and we always tell them the same thing. We don't push our clients one way or the other. They come in and we let them touch and feel and experience both apps. We talk them through their lifestyle and help them figure out which system is best for them. And I'm always amazed. I'll have a client drive up that I'm certain is going to go with Savant, and he'll come in and tell me he and his wife hands down prefer Control4, and vice versa. I'll have a couple that seems a little scared of tech, and I'm convinced they're going to go with Control4. They use both apps, and they're adamant they want Savant. So I've stopped trying to push Savant and Control4 to clients. We just let them use it, touch it, and feel it, and see what works best for them. As always, if you have questions, if you want any follow-up about which system's better for you, feel free to reach out to us in the comments. And as always, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, and share this with your friends, and watch for the next video.